Well, the Creative Crusade is an initiative by creatives for the creative. The showcase is really fundraising and it sends 4 emerging artists to KZN Art Fair in August. The work going to KZN is Tima, Metsi, Otla, Bona, Nwele. It's by Tshepo, Sizwe, Phokojoe, as well as Calynne, Peffer, Sagwadi, Mohlabi, and Lebogang, Mbewe. And this is just part of a sustained push to open South Africa's creative economy to young and marginalised artists. And so actually for this, we're going to be joined by Curator, by Creative Director, Mzoxolo Vimba, to chat a little bit further. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're making the circle bigger, but, obviously making it inclusive. And I wonder if we look at opening up that space, the structural barriers that exist, why it becomes so pivotal to be so intentional about assisting the next generation?
Yeah. So what we've noticed with Studio Sunday Best and myself as the founder is that most artists aren't necessarily not talented.
Yes.
Is that they just happen not to have like the administrative tools because they're self-taught. So as Studio Sunday Best, we just figured that we should make it our responsibility and our job to bridge these access gaps, considering that we happen to come from a background of having learned from school. We happen to be a team that haven't worked in the industry for quite longer. So we took it upon ourselves to ensure that we make space for other artists to have access to the industry, even to the market, considering even residencies.
Yeah, and also understanding the business of the art side as well, right? The longevity, the way we benchmark and value our art, perhaps in relation to the continent and the rest of the world. And this becomes important because now the lens, how we make it more Afrocentric, but also just the title itself. Tell us what you're trying to explore, what the brief was basically for them.
So the whole thing to say, like, Tima, is essentially to say nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. So what you always think about is that when you look at like textile art in South Africa, it's always been put in the margins. So most of these artists actually work in textile art, so to speak. So instead of it being looked at as just utilitarian art, as just utilitarian, not even just art, these are the artists who are pushing the boundary forward and putting it into studios, and putting it into galleries, which are considered usually exclusive spaces because the culture, it's wine and whatever. So in this time around, we are pushing the space to put these artists in the center. And by doing that, we're using the Creative Crusade to promote these artists, so to speak. So the Creative Crusade is essentially an event of artists who've worked together. Well, some of them established, some of them even emerging, but music and poetry, the whole point is to say, as artists, let's build a community to move forward, And in this situation, the whole community that comes for the Creative Crusade is to support the artists that are going to the art fair.
Got you. Even just that selection process, the 4 that were chosen, how did that come about? What was the criteria?
So, this comes through the work. I've worked with Phokojoe for quite some time. I saw Sagwadi's work through Phokojoe when she got the residence in Nigeria. I saw Lebo in Cape Town. I've already worked with Calynne. I had seen Calynne Peffer's work at the museum in Javet in UP. So it's all through seeing that these people are emerging and they're doing work. So the whole point of us coming through is to make sure that we help them go even further. So we take them and open opportunities like the KZN Art Fair, for example. So us even doing the crusade, more than just getting funds, more than just getting support from these artists who are going to be performing, the whole point is also a celebration. Because these artists that are part of the Creative Crusade is artists that we've worked with even before. So even myself in my own personal capacity, I've done work with them, helping when they do their own shows. So the whole point is to create this community where we move forward together.
And also perhaps expand the audience, right? So making it more inclusive. And how has it been received? Who's come out to support? How are they backing you with these funds at this point?
Interesting enough, I can give a lot of credit to like Lit Culture Books. Lit Culture Books, which is run by Gulani. Gulani has shown a lot of support in terms of like PR things, promo. There's also King Kong Building, which is in Troyville, which has done a lot of work also in terms of like giving space and giving venues, particularly for me. The Office for Sunday Best, we work from there. And not only that, outside of Sunday Best, working from there, the mentorship from Malahlela. And besides and beyond that, all these artists that you see up there, Malcolm Gianni, Makafula Vilagazi, Buntu, Mukiti Wabahlanka, Kabiso Village, Lebogang, and Mbewe. All these people, it's just them saying out of their own volition, we support what you're doing. We're actually proud of what you're doing, considering that you're taking young artists who are actually marginalized and putting them into these big stages. So you know what, in celebration, let's do this kind of event for you to ensure that these artists have a comfortable stay and a comfortable show that side, which is something I'm forever grateful for. I'm very grateful for.
And also, I mean, the gift of artistry is also time, right? And it's being able to, or being given the space to be creative as well. So how long did they have perhaps to curate, well, to put all of this together as well? Was there room to fail as well and then start again? Because that's what privilege affords us, right?
Of course, of course. So the interesting part what I like is that most of the artists actually went to school. Luckily, Calynne is a student, is a lecturer now. Sagwadi was at Wits. Tshepo was self-taught. So it's just a mixture of different kind of artists. But all of them actually, they're not chancers. It's not just people who woke up yesterday and started doing this. So they've all been working their craft for years now. And which is the interesting thing, because it's not like a Studio Sunday Best now we just go around and just pick anybody. We pick somebody who's interested in doing this as a career. And then we help them with pathways into access into the marketplace, with pathways into access into the industry in general. So now, the beautiful part, if you're asking about getting these artists who are performing on the 25th, it was an interesting thing because based on the relationships that we formed as Studio Sunday Best, it was merely a phone call to talk to them, you know. What do you think about this idea? Everybody, out of all of them, was like, this is a brilliant idea, I'm definitely game. I'm willing to do it because the vision is grander than just us, because we all believe in community. And luckily, most of us went to the same university, at Wits University. We even have a name for ourselves, so we call ourselves Gokurumba, you know, just to show our resilience, all the things we went through, that we live together and take care of each other. So this was a beautiful undertaking for all of us to actually do this thing in support of each other, in support of another that are coming after us.
I like how you say it's not about, you know, your immediate circle. It's about, you know, expanding it as well. And that's how we grow. That's how we also assert our agency and keep the stories and conversations fun. Thank you for joining us at this hour.
Thank you very much.
We'll leave the conversation there, but obviously it's left to the exhibition that's taking place. So we heard Creative Director Studio of Studio Sunday Best, Mzoxolo Vimba. He was chatting to us about, you know, just the Creative Crusade, the initiatives for creatives, by creatives, and of course, all that action is happening on the 25th of July. And you can obviously follow them there. You can see there's different sponsors that come on board. Lit Culture, as you mentioned, King Kong, just assisting with location and expanding the next generation of artists at large. We'll leave that conversation there. We'll be right back with more industry updates after this. Stay tuned.